Takashi and Machiko, newlyweds, find themselves at the Quindecim bar. Decim, the bartender, forces them to stake their lives in a game of darts, where each dart lands, inflicting pain on their partner. As the game progresses, Takashi recalls suspecting Machiko of having an affair, which she denies. He attempts to sway the match in his favor by landing the decisive blow. At the game's conclusion, it is revealed that they both died in a car accident as a result of Takashi's jealousy, and Machiko later claims that she married Takashi solely for his money. Decim sends Takashi and Machiko to the elevators after preventing Takashi from attacking Machiko further. Takashi is reincarnated, while Machiko is banished from the void. Nana transports a black-haired woman with no name or memory to the Quindecim, where she is assigned as Decim's assistant. Nana takes the woman backstage to observe Machiko and Takashi's darts game, explaining the nature of the games. Following the conclusion of the game, the woman expresses her thoughts, believing that Machiko had a one-time fling that she regretted and was lying about the father of her child in order to save Takashi's soul. This surprises Decim, who is apologetic for possibly being wrong in his judgment. Two additional amnesiac teenagers make their way to the Quindecim for another game. This game has been chosen because it involves 10-pin bowling. The balls contain each other's hearts, which pulse in response to their owner's emotions. As the game progresses, the two become friends and begin recalling fragments of their pasts. The boy recalls himself as a college student named Shigeru Miura, while the girl recalls herself as Chisato Miyazaki, a girl who was Shigeru's childhood friend before she moved away. Shigeru then recalls that he and Chisato died on the same bus, while Chisato also recalls additional details about herself. Shigeru requests a brief date with Chisato following their victory in the match. They part ways at the elevators, content to have had the opportunity to spend time together. Chisato is then revealed to be Shigeru's other childhood friend, Mai Takada, who underwent plastic surgery to look like Chisato in order to catch Shigeru's attention. Both are destined to be reincarnated. Yasuke Tateshi, a teenager, and Misaki Takabana, a television celebrity, arrive in the Quindecim. Misaki is convinced that they are participating in a hidden camera show and instructs Yasuke to act appropriately. The two take part in an arcade fighting game, portraying themselves as fighters. Yasuke takes the first round, while Misaki is struck by flashbacks to abusive partners. She begs Yasuke to allow her to win the next round, during which Decim activates a device that malfunctions Yasuke's joystick. Misaki advances to the second round, while Yasuke has his own flashback to his troubled childhood. They become aware that they are not appearing on a television show, and Misaki develops paranoia that she will be murdered if she loses. Misaki performs a special move, but Decim disables her joystick, explaining that this is necessary in order to reveal a soul's darkness and pass judgment. Misaki, desperate to win, attacks Yasuke physically and knocks him unconscious. Despite Misaki's repentance for her actions, Decim coerces her into continuing to play the game. Yasuke regains consciousness and counters with his own special move, resulting in a double knockout. They both discover afterwards that they have died. Yasuke committed suicide, while Misaki was murdered by her enraged assistant. Decim reincarnates Yasuke and banishes Misaki to the void. Nana is later seen reading Chavot, a children's book. The black-haired assistant has been having recurring dreams about a boy and a girl and is taken aback to discover the same girl on a panel Nana requested Decim to place behind the bar. At the bar, two new guests arrive, a man and a young boy. Decim is taken aback when the man recalls being there previously and begins to act violently. While Decim is restraining the man, the young boy, who is revealed to be another arbiter in disguise named Jinty, puts both Decim and the assistant to sleep. Jinty accuses Decim of failing to judge his deceased assistant. Jinty attacks Decim for his insubordination, but Nana intervenes, revealing that the guests were part of a test for Decim. Decim was unaware the boy lacked memories, she explains, because he was distracted by the man who was a dummy implanted with memories. Later, as the assistant dreams of the boy and girl, Jimmy and Chavot, Nana is seen reading the book Chavot, which features the same children on the cover. Mayu Arita, an excitable schoolgirl, and Harada, a member of a popular boy band, arrive at Jinty's arbiter bar, where they are forced to play Twister. While Mayu is thrilled to be able to perform with a member of her favorite band, Harada is more concerned with reuniting with his girlfriend. When Mayu and Harada request a break, Jinty ups the ante by causing the climate of the game mat to change with each panel they step on. From warm to freezing, Mayu and Harada are suddenly thrust into a life or death situation above a pit of spikes. Mayu decides to forfeit and lets herself fall just as Harada is about to push her off to save himself. Harada seizes her, remorseful for driving one of his ex-girlfriends to commit suicide. Mayu lets go to save him, but instead of dying, she lands safely on rubber spikes. Mayu then recalls slipping on some soap and dying, while Harada recalls being murdered by his girlfriend in retaliation for her sister's suicide, who was his ex-girlfriend. Harada later develops an interest in Mayu after she dons a kimono, and the two collaborate on a concert for the arbiter staff. The assistant discovers the Chavot book, which contains the same story as the one that occurs in her dreams, causing her to regain some memories and realize she is dead. When she inquires about the book, Decim informs her that it is the property of Quinn, the Quindecim's former arbiter. In a flashback to Decim's training, Nana interrogates him about why he did not use his remote device to influence the outcome of one of Quinn's death games while observing it. He responded that he admires those who have lived full lives, which piqued Nana's interest. Quinn has since joined the Information Bureau after resigning from her position as arbiter. Quinn observes, while drinking with Nana, how Decim is an unusual arbiter of human emotions. Meanwhile, Decim demonstrates his treasure to his assistant, a collection of dummies dressed as former guests who have been banished to the void. He does this to prevent them from being completely discarded and forgotten. Decim is assigned two new guests at Nana's request, a young man named Shimada and a detective named Tatsumi, one of whom is alleged to be a murderer. Shimada discovers a blood-stained knife among his belongings while searching for a way out, unsure of its origin. As the two guests engage in an air hockey game, Shimada gradually recalls caring for his younger sister, while Tatsumi recalls his wife's murder, with the two regaining additional memories that fuel their motivations to flee, particularly Shimada's memory of his sister being assaulted. Decim alters the game's scoring system, in which scored pucks cause pain to the corresponding player's organs. Meanwhile, the black-haired woman requests to see Decim's memories and discovers that Shimada and Tatsumi are both murderers. As Shimada and Tatsumi's game progresses, Shimada realizes he has already killed someone, the man who assaulted his sister Sae. Tatsumi also recalls killing his wife's murderer and identifying Shimada as the assassin. Tatsumi appears to have observed Sae being assaulted in order to gather sufficient evidence to pass judgment on her attacker. Shimada, on the other hand, believed Tatsumi was a passive accomplice in C's assault and fatally stabbed him. Decim offers Shimada the chance to punish Tatsumi by stabbing the pucks containing Tatsumi's organs, but his assistant objects, claiming that he cannot judge people's souls solely on the basis of their memories. She attempts to dissuade Shimada from punishing Tatsumi, but Shimada succumbs to his rage and murders him. Decim is astounded by his assistant's arguments that people are more complicated than they appear on the surface. The episode concludes with a shot of the devil atop the elevator, implying that Shimada and Tatsumi were both transported to the void. Following the previous game, Decim begins to doubt his ability to judge people. Nana reminds him that he must still judge his assistant as she will devolve into a dummy if left alone. He declines to receive her memories, and Nana sends him a new visitor, an elderly illustrator named Sachiko Yumura. Decim, his assistant, and the woman all play old maid using cards with designs based on personal interests. Sachiko deduces she has died based on the images they see, while the assistant recalls her name is Chiyuki after Sachiko informs them about the children's feelings in the Chabot story. While Sachiko departs politely to be reincarnated, Nane's boss Oculus absorbs the memories of Clavis the elevator attendant and discovers that Decim exhibits human emotions. Nane, meanwhile, directs Quinn to recover Chiyuki's memories. Mayu and Harada have not been dispatched yet and remain at Jinti's bar. Jinti offers Mayu the option of sending another human soul into the void in exchange for Harada's unconsciousness. Simultaneously, Decim requests that Chiyuki demonstrate some ice skating, having noticed it was a significant part of her memories. Chiyuki regains her memories as she skates, recalling a time when she was a professional ice skater until a severe knee injury forced her to retire. This contributed to her severe depression and eventual suicide. Decim and Chiyuki share a final drink, but he sedates her and then requests that Quinn send him her memories. Meanwhile, Mayu has chosen to remain with Harada and share his fate rather than have another person sacrificed in his stead. Jinti confronts her about her devotion to Harada, and she simply states that it is her choice. He sends them off together in the elevator, and as they revert to dummies, Harada awakens, allowing them to share one final embrace before entering the void. Oculus challenges Nane's methods in order to demonstrate that arbiters are not dummies. Decim shows Chiyuki her old house, demonstrating to her that her mother still cares for her, causing her to rethink her suicide attempt. Decim offers Chiyuki the chance to return home in exchange for the life of another, and she comes dangerously close to accepting. However, in light of the fact that everyone she meets in the Quindecim has someone who adores them, she ultimately decides against it. This causes Decim to experience strong and painful emotions, which she shares with Chiyuki as part of her judgment. Nana observes the outcome through Oculus, demonstrating that understanding human suffering is a necessary component of being able to judge humans. Decim, vainly attempting to smile, sees Chiyuki off to be reincarnated. Nana and the other arbiters consider the system's implications if arbiters gain an understanding of human behavior. Decim later greets new guests at the Quindecim with a barely perceptible smile, and the bar now features a mannequin dressed as Chiyuki. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.